Hi, welcome back. I'm Larry London, and me and my jacket. And if you can get past the jacket and past my hair, we can talk about all sorts of things in this philosophy series. I want to talk about something that everybody keeps asking me about, which is what I'm working on right now and how I came up with what I'm working on right now. My life's work, I think, has culminated into this idea I have called linear squared. You'll find me talking about it quite a bit in the other videos. There's a whole playlist on YouTube. If you go there, you can watch down what I call linear 1, which is just linear with my hands and single bass, and then linear 2, which is the double bass version, and the top hands are linear. So I have linear together. I came up with this idea. Starts way back in '95 when I had what I call my white Grand Star custom Tama kit, and I reconfigured it with a hi-hat in the middle to start making a mirrored kit. Now, I didn't have mirrored toms then, but I started making them descend in a certain way, and then I was convinced through that year that this is really what I want to do. So I ordered a drum workshop kit that is in the videos in '97 that has all the mirrored drums that go down both sides, mirrored hi-hats, and all of the rest that goes along with it. But I still had the wrong idea about it. I had this idea, if you watch the other videos where I'm talking about playing open-handed, I played right-handed for about a decade, and then I made myself play both sides. And then I had this idea that the kit was basically, I'm playing on one side or I'm playing on the other side. But once I had this linear squared idea, I basically had to ingest this idea that there is no side. And that was like the Matrix moment for me, where there is no spoon. And I had to, if you've seen the Matrix movie, it'll make sense. Where the idea is that I had to let go of my preconceived notions of sideism and think of just the drum set as one big landscape. So what I did is I took all of the music, this is about 2014, I decided to take all the music that I'd ever written, which is over 4,000 pages, go through that, go through all the music that I had ever bought, which was a couple hundred books, and all of the little notes that I'd taken in every book, and shreds of paper and manuscript of ideas. I went through, it took me about a year, I went through all of that stuff, trying to compile it down to stuff that I could concentrate on. Now, I had no idea about the linear squared idea, none. So I was just trying to figure out something that would concise down what I needed to work on for the rest of my life. And so I ended up with about 1,500 of these ideas to work on. Now, I started noticing that a lot of these ideas have a theme to them, and that when I approached them as on the mirrored kit, that I had to rewrite them into this mirrored version. And so as I went through and wrote all those down, I actually just cut a lot of them out and taped them into manuscript. And then I went through those very briefly, just trying to see if it would make any sense at all in theory. So this is about 2015 that I decided to commit myself to this idea, and exclusively. And so I boxed everything else away except for these 1,500. And then I took some time and I put each one on the top of its own fresh manuscript so that I could practice those, and as I had more ideas, flesh them in. And that's the process I'm in now. So that brings me to what I've been doing, which is that 1,500 is still so much to bite off that I just went through them very briefly. Took me a while, but I just went, this one goes into one pile, this goes into the other pile, and I came up with a pile to focus on that was 276 of them. Just happened to be 276 that I picked out of about 1,500. I took those 276, and then I just made a plan that I was going to go through them 15 minutes apiece, 10 times for the whole thing. I was originally going to do it 5 times, and then I thought, you know, you've been through this so many times, making hundreds of different plans, and every time you get to the end and you think, I should have spent more time, I just doubled it. So I just doubled it and said, I'm going to take 10 times to do it. Now, it took me just over a year to do it. I went through them all 10 times, just recently. But there were some, 51 of them, that I kept in the 15-minute pile to work out some more to get caught up to the new level that I was at. And so I went through those, boiled those down to 41, boiled those down to 12, boiled them down to 3, and then there was the final one that was giving me trouble. I finally got that one. I made a video of that one just as a memoriam to the last one of the 276. You can check that out. So now I've gotten all 276 done 10 times, 15 minutes apiece. It's a lot of time. So cumulative with all the work that I've done is probably about 1,000 hours into it. Okay, and I know this about my understanding of looking at something is I can watch something and go, yeah, I think I could probably do that. And as soon as I start it, I think 85% I could probably do that. And then as soon as I start working it out, I go, oh man, I'm like at 5%. It's so embarrassing that, your mind does this ego thing where it adds an extra 80% or something. So you can't trust your mind. You have to actually physically start walking through this. So as I walk through this, I end up doubling over more plans of spending more time. So now what I've done is now I've got the 276, and the idea was that is if I can get better at these key ones, these 276, that tide will raise all ships, and so the other 1,300 or whatever will be better by the next time I go through them. So sure enough, I've been going through them, and within about 3 days, I came to finally the realization that yes, these are so much better than I remember over a year ago when I was just barely able to. It's so frustrating to even know what hand you're on. And now I'm at a level where it at least sounds like music, right? I have them mastered, but at least they sound like music. So my confidence is up now. So I've been working through those and putting those in piles. And so now I'm going through them, and I'll put them in the 5-minute pile along with the other 276, or I'll put them in a 15-minute pile where I need to spend more time on them to bring them up to speed, this minimal amount of comprehension, so that I can then go to the next level. So right now, I'm on 512 or something today, and I will work through the rest of these, putting them into the 5-minute pile or the 15-minute pile. And when I get done with that, then I'm going to take the 15-minute pile and just play them over and over and over until I can put them all in the 5-minute piles. The 5-minute pile will then be what I'm hoping is the final stage of working these into real life. And so, but I'll bet, I just know this about how you plan things. You always plan things, and then you get to the end of it and you go, wow, I could have spent more time on that. I mean, I really need to, because I really don't have these mastered yet. So I just know that even when I go through all of this time, for whatever reason, for me, that when I get all of them in the 5-minute pile, the 1,500 of them, I'll bet I'm still only at 50%. 50% mastery of these. That's going to be my guess. And so then I have this idea that when I get them all in the 5-minute pile, I will just start going through them all, 1,500 of them, 5 minutes at a time. And when I make it through all 1,500 of them, that'll be one time. And I'll go 2 times, 3 times, up to 50 times. So my idea is that if I'm at 50% now, and I go through it one time, 5 minutes each, that it will probably raise it up 1%. That's so depressing in one way, because you want it to happen so much faster. Your mind is always eager to learn these things faster. But the reality is it just takes a long time to learn an actual new idea from scratch. This is a completely different, fundamentally, philosophically, and mechanically different way of thinking. I have to totally get out of anything that I've ever learned to be able to do this. So I've already done most of the work. If I can get to 50%, get them all in the 5-minute pile, all I've already done a massive amount of the work, the frustrating part of the work. The rest of it is just detailing out. So this is the boring part of the work, is to just keep going over them and over them. Now what's going to happen is that you will get just tragically bored, and you just get so bored with them that your mind drifts off, and you start thinking of ideas you would never have thought of if you just trap yourself into just being bored enough. And so all of a sudden your mind will just start singing some other part. You're going, oh, that's brilliant. How come I didn't think of that the first 50 times through this? And you just will write it in, and that will be the next thing excuse me, the next thing in my manuscript, it'll just kind of go down, and I'll see this progression. I've seen it already on a bunch of them where I've progressed them by adding in 30-second notes or turns or toms or whatever, ghost notes, and you just start going, how come I didn't think to put that there? I just did that here like 10 minutes ago with one. I'm like, this is like, how could I not have noticed this turn? And so your mind, you just have to trap it into thinking through this thing. So I'm at about 500 something now. I'll keep wading through them, go through the 15-minute pile to get them in the 5-minute pile, and then I'll be in the final stage for linear squared of working out all of these things 50 times. 50%, go through one time, get another percent, go through another time, get another percent, and I'm going to make myself go through them 50 times, whether I think I need it or not, whether I talk myself out of it or not. I'm just going to make myself do it. I'm so committed to this singular idea that I really want to know it. And then I'm going to try to figure out how to design a course around it so that people can get it and walk through this on their own and see how this idea works and put it into place. I'm so excited about this idea. I've had hundreds and hundreds of plans, schedules, color-coded, time management charts that went around the room with hundreds of books, and I am so pleased to be at a part of my life where I get to hone it down to a singular idea. It's a massive idea. If you watch some of the videos explaining the linear squared idea, and I'm going to make a bunch more of them, so that hopefully we can get down to some real core understanding of the definitions of it. And then once you understand how something works, like anytime I come across a groove and I go, wow, I just love this groove. And then you always go, why? Why does this thing work for me? And you look in there and you start noticing certain patterns, you notice certain mechanics that you go, oh, I love this. I always love it when these notes are split up here, or when there's not a bass on one, or whatever it is. And then you go, I could create 1,000 of those, like tomorrow, if I know what the rules are. So now that I know what the rules are for linear squared, I'm going to try to express those in a real definitive way in a video where I'm on the drums and actually map it out for everybody for the course. So right now I'm in the middle of a long haul of practice, and I just couldn't be happier about it, to have this one bullet point target that I'm after. And it's just going to be a long ways to travel to get there time-wise. There's no shortcut. I just need my hands to keep going over it until I rewrite whatever I have to rewrite in my mind to be able to function on this level freely. And that's what we all want, is to be able to play our ideas as an artist freely. So I want to help you do that. Try to go through and watch the philosophy series, these ones where I'm expressing how much to practice and things like that. The ideas that just changed my life. And so I'm just here to help. And if any of these things have helped you, or you have any question about them, please leave the comments in the on my YouTube channel, Larry London Drummer, and also on my Facebook page. Thanks so much for joining me in this whole process. It is fun for me, but it's really about just trying to find who I am on the instrument. And I hope that you find who you are on your instrument. Right on my music stand is a quote, and it's my favorite quote, and I say it in all these videos, which is, discipline is remembering what you want. You have to remember what it is that you want, or you will default to something that is good and not great. So have the discipline to remember what you want as an artist. Thanks.